Hello. I'm going to change the... Oh, I don't remember where I usually have it. I think I have it at 16 usually. Sorry, but let's turn down the lo-fi Taz beats to relax / study cantrips too for a second. I wanted to listen to Taz tonight. Y'all will have to excuse me. Alright, so... Oh, okay. I was like, why do we not have the start screen up? I had it set for a different thing. So sorry you've just been staring at a black screen. That's not like the most fun thing in the world. Of course, nothing is set up. I was trying to figure out if I could stream tonight because my dad, we are having, oh God, I really am really out of it. Our bathroom isn't, there's issues in our bathroom, but not what you think. Not what you think. There is water in our light. Me and my sister are in the basement. So the light last night was flickering and part of it was green. And we're under our parents' bathroom. And there was water in the light fixture. So currently, my dad has cut open the entire ceiling and pulled out all of the insulation to figure out what is leaking because we don't know. We don't know why there's water in the ceiling. So, you know? So I was trying to figure, he is, oh, I need to grab my drink. He has stopped doing construction, I think, for the night. So we are okay, but, and I also have been having computer issues, which seem to have been solved for now. So that's good. But, before we start, I wanted to show you the changelog, if I can figure out which display capture I want to show. Yeah, this one. If you can see right here for the bug fixes for this game, this came out, yesterday, Sunday, August 11th. Let me zoom in. Fixed issue where only portions of a character's sprites would remain lit when seeing thoughts through Eye of Horus, which is which is actually the issue we had last week, where people's faces were getting highlighted by like a box sometimes. I'm pretty sure this is what they're talking about. So I don't know if that's because like it was happening to us and they went and looked at, like, that's a bold assumption that it was my tiny stream. The coincidence is a little bit funny to me that they fixed it right out the week after we ran into this issue. But it definitely could have been, not a lot of people are playing this game on Twitch. So someone could have just happened to like pop in and see it who worked on the team and been like, oh, we should take a look at that. This also might have already been on the radar. I think it's a really weird, funny coincidence. So let's actually open the game now, though. Let's do that. Let's do that thing. I don't remember what we were doing. I'm sure it was interesting and important. Oh, loud. Loud in my ears. Turn this down. Great. Does everything look okay? Everything looks fine. Okay, we are here, but what were we doing? The questions you need to ask yourself. Oh, Carter's here. Hold on. Hi. Carter gave me a different keyboard, which has different configurations. Let's see. Backspace works now. Control works now. He said to ignore a few things. This is a Lego keyboard, fun fact. Perfect. It's cute. He actually was gonna make me a keyboard. Carter has gotten my brother has gotten very into different keyboards. So he has a few, so he let me one. It's actually, I like it. It's changing colors. It's got a Lego setup with it. There's little things on the side where you can put Lego guys. I was very excited about this when he got it, but he's letting me borrow it because, nightmare. Okay, we're doing something. Love to see it. Let me take a drink and then we'll start for real this time. Let's go. Bold of you to assume that I know what this guy sounds like. Okay,
I'm quite pleased with your work during the trial. I'm glad I put my trust in you. Thank you, but we're still a long way from getting your case dismissed. And showing the possibility of a murder definitely made things much more complicated.
I needed to turn this down a tiny bit. I think that's good. I don't even know if you guys will hear a difference.
I see no reason to blame yourself. You merely played the cards that you were dealt. Honestly, I'm still trying to make sense of what happened.
Do you have any idea who the second victim might be?
I have no idea.
I forgot there might be a second person in there. Damn, I got no clue.
But all of my other employees are accounted for. I doubt it was anyone who worked for me.
But then who was it? Great question.
To be perfectly honest, I'm a little concerned with how many unauthorized people were there that day.
Yeah, that's a lot of people to just have hanging out in your super dangerous factory. He has a point. It seems strange that Justin, Rika, and Morrison were there. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to send a message, and I'm just gonna send it to Nate, because I need someone else to see it. Things to do after stream. Sorry, just like before I forget, because I meant to write them down before and I didn't. All right. Oh my god. My mic setup is not ideal. When I finally clean I was just talking to my brother about this. I have to do a ton of cable management. I maybe need to figure out a different mic setup, but that involves buying a different mic, and to be completely frank with you guys, my mic works fine. I keep hitting it. That's really the issue. I see no reason that I need to get a new mic for, no offense to you guys, less than 200 followers. Talk to me again if we hit 1K, okay? Then we'll consider a different mic. Okay, do I have to present something to him? Ode gold. Okay, that's not. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I know what's going on.
All right. Oh, it's you two. And who's this?
Oh, I forgot he was with us. He's just like hanging out.
Wait, the hell?
Oh shit. What? I think I made him British. I think he's British. I think he's British. I say this with zero confidence, but I'm pretty sure I made him British.
Commander, please don't.
I knew it!
What the hell are you two doing with the Crown Prince?
What?
It appears that my cover has been blown, as they say.
Okay, you're dressing like this though. How undercover were you? Like, full respect to undercover shenanigans, but you didn't even change your outfit? Aster, come on, bestie. if we're going undercover, we gotta mix it up. We have to take off the little crown thingy mababa. We have to take off the cloak, the gems. Put something else on, bestie, if you are going to be acting undercover, because this is not, you're not convincing anyone.
Did he just say that you're the crown prince?
Ugh.
Yes, my full name is Aster.
Aster isn't a great name to say with a British accent.
Aster de Wyvengard IV, heir to the throne of Wyvengard.
Occupation, prince. Not a real job. This entire time, you've been speaking to the heir to the throne?
I was hoping that it wouldn't come to this. Oh, sorry, your Majesty.
He did try to stop you, and you just ignored him outright, so yeah, be sorry.
Please, none of that. I would much prefer if you all continued to call me Aster. No, I could never.
You've never seen the commander this flustered before. If there's one thing I know about my voices in this game, it's that they have been the most inconsistent voices, possibly since when I first started doing Layton, because I could not get some of those voices down for like 2 games. But, you know. Hi, Hannah! Welcome back!
Why did you find the need to hide this from us? I didn't want you to think less of me.
Oh my god, hi Ninji! Wow, the gang's all here and the gang is all in green. This is great. The green gang is back. Oh, all the sleepies. All the seepies.
I admire your work, Mr. Cuthbert, which is why I was afraid you wouldn't speak with me if you knew the truth.
In a way, he was correct to assume that. As a member of the royal family, he represents everything that you and Ms. Tamora are fighting against. Well, good for Aster. If there's one thing that I fucking love, it's like a guy with a heart of gold who is super privileged and trying his fucking best, and like, it's, I'm embarrassed by how much I enjoy that, like, specific character archetype.
But quite a few of my favorite characters are that, so here we are.
But he does look like a sincere and genuine person. This audio is way too loud for me. Can I turn down the sound without leaving this? Yes, I can. It's beautiful, but I can't hear myself think. At the very least, you haven't seen anything incriminating through the eye of Horus. Anyways, this complicates things greatly. Aster is your primary suspect. So, if he did commit the murder, you would have to implicate a member of the royal family. A nobleman is one thing, but would it even be possible to convict the crown prince? Well, no matter what, you won't stop seeking justice. It doesn't matter who you're facing, be they man, king, or god. And princes aside, you came here to talk to the commander about his investigation. Since Aster is accompanying you, he might be more inclined to share details with you.
I'm surprised the Inquisition is even here.
All good? Oh, I wasn't sure if you were talking to Dad. Oh, okay. How was your ice cream then? Are they good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hurts my teeth, but they're good.
Hurt your teeth because they're cold? Okay, fair enough.
Where do I store a rug?
Store a rug?
Yeah, it's rolled up. It's on my bed. Where do I put it?
Under your bed? Does it fit?
Long under my bed. There?
I don't think... You could try standing it up, but I don't know if it's going to stand up. Sorry, I'm talking to Maya about a rug. Possibly, but no more so than anything else. Maybe just flip it over if you see it starting to bend. Aww. Well. What is that for?
Stuff like this.
Oh, okay. Is it removable?
It's stuff I want to watch.
Cool, cool, cool.
I'm trying to make it less sad in here.
Is it sad?
We don't get floors or walls.
What do you mean you don't get floors?
It's maroon and white feathered tile.
You have to send me a picture because I don't know what that means.
The tile they put in bathrooms at restaurants. It's like not really grouted. It looks plasticky. It's like stick on.
Like what we did in Mom and Dad's room?
Yes, but like
Worse?
think of like a rest stop.
Okay.
It's white, gray. It's
Okay.
supposed to be white.
Okay.
And then every like 6 there's a maroon one.
And that's your floors?
That's our floor. And then the wall is this big cylinder block that they painted white.
Is this on campus? Is this worse than your other rooms?
No, it's about the same.
Okay. Cool. Do you guys have a kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
I don't know if it'll work. We had a kitchen last year. It didn't work.
Oh.
Just the oven. It took us 4 hours to make cookies once.
You did tell me that. Alright. Cool.
I thought you were all busy investigating Aster's missing ship. Oh, wait, you knew about that?
The commander glances nervously at Aster.
We wanted to put more of our people there. But Lady Steelwind insisted we focus on the
Dracogen case.
as you should. I would much rather you find justice for Justin Way. That's far more important than looking for some musty old ship.
Ooh, mini ice cream maker.
Right. Is this kid for real?
I don't remember what my Orem voice was, and it's driving me nuts.
Have you discovered anything about the magical traces here? We did take a look at it, and it's definitely suspicious. The only rails with magical traces on them are these, and the fact that we can still see them means they were left within the last 48 hours. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. When I was little, before they had lactate pills, I would always have to get non-dairy ice cream. Sherbet? There's only ever so many flavors of sherbet. Because this was, like, pre-things kind of being non-dairy when I was little. Like, that was, like, before people were doing that. So really, I could have, like, the 1 or 2 sherbet options or the 1 or 2 froyo options at any ice cream place. So... fun.
It's looking pretty likely that someone used transmutation on these rails that night. It still doesn't make sense though. Why would someone weaken these rails specifically?
It's still, like, not awesome for non-dairy options. However, I use lactate pills. That's what I can do now. But there are more options. There's usually at least 2 options that are, like, either sherbets or non-dairy. Not at all places. The places around me. But it's definitely better than it used to be. Some places have quite a few non-dairy options, which is very nice. You know. Ooh, I hope you have fun.
Why would someone weaken these rails specifically? I have no idea, but I'm just as confused as you are. If this really is foul play, then someone knew that Justin or some other person would be in this exact place. Has the Inquisition found any evidence to prove my theory? You mean about a second person falling in the vat? Sorry, kid, but it ain't that simple. The body of that Justin fellow sort of dissolved. That's quite gruesome. If another person had fallen in, their body would have dissolved too, but we could only find some bone fragments, blood, and a lot of metallic shards. Have you been able to use divination magic to identify the bone fragments? Yep, the ones we found all belong to Justin Way.
Meaning the other guy had no bones. Fun fact.
No signs of bones from another person.
Oh, gross.
There wasn't any evidence of another person falling in.
Could your theory have been incorrect then?
Are you sure you and Morrison saw a person fall into the vat, Aster? I definitely saw someone fall off the walkway and break the guardrails, although, thinking back on it, I didn't recognize who exactly that person was.
Oh, he's 26. He's 26. How old is... She's 18. It's fine. She obviously, like, doesn't care to marry him, though. That was the vibe I was getting, and then she was like, okay, whatever, I guess I have to marry this guy.
The harbour master and I were pretty far away, and it wasn't well lit.
Do you think the second victim's body fully dissolved? That might explain why we can't find any bone matter from them.
No, if my theory is correct, the second victim fell in minutes after Justin fell. It wouldn't make sense if that person's body dissolved before Justin's.
But why can't you find any bone matter of this second person? They had no bones. They had no bones!
Either way, Dracogen might want to hear about this.
God damn it, sorry.
If the liquid is so volatile, how were you able to take things out of the vat? Oh, the liquid isn't volatile anymore. When the harbour master and I reported what we saw, the workers poured some sort of alchemical solution into the vat. Yeah, according to them, the solution neutralized the evocation magic in those chemicals.
What the fuck is happening with my voice?
From what I hear, the magical liquid in these vats is usually blue. The solution that they poured in turned it green. Yes, unfortunately it was too late. By the time they neutralized the liquid, Justin's body had already mostly dissolved. And if they hadn't neutralized it so quickly, we probably wouldn't have found anything from the victim.
Okay.
I still can't believe that you've been the crown prince the entire time.
I kind of don't think he is the bad guy. The murderer. The bad guy. The murderer. Just because it feels like he's Arya's, like, betrothed, right? It feels weird to introduce him and then immediately throw him in jail. So either he did it, and, like, something about this case is going to tie into the next one. Because we're only on 3, aren't we? Aren't we only on 3? It feels, like, incorrect to have him be the murderer in this case. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I wasn't trying to deceive you. I was just worried you might treat me differently if you knew the truth. Oh, right. Should I call Steelwind over here for you? She'll probably want to see you. No, I think it would be best if you didn't.
Oh, I remember now. You're the crown prince. That makes Prosecutor Steelwind your fiancé. This is really disappointing. Did you know that, like, me and her had, like, a thing going on? Because I didn't know she was engaged, and I'm kind of bummed about it.
Right. Lady Freyga mentioned that during the Nightgrave case. That's why the name Aster sounded so familiar. You saw it in her thoughts.
Oh, that Miriam. She's caused me so much trouble by publicly revealing my marriage to Lady Steelwind. I'd hoped to keep it a secret for much longer.
Why? Wait.
Where is Prosecutor Steelwind anyways? She's always investigating these crime scenes herself because you guys are incompetent. She said she wanted to investigate the disappearing ship personally. She seems really hell-bent on finding the people responsible. They did attempt to kidnap the Crown Prince after all.
Aw, she must really care about you, Aster. Things I'm normal about.
No, I highly doubt that.
What?
Our marriage was arranged by our parents. She had no say in the matter, and I know that she only tolerates me for the good of our kingdom.
I'm sure she still cares about you. For sure. Definitely.
No, I can tell by the way she behaves around me. Her hands quiver with rage, and she can't even bear to look at me when I speak to her. Damn, I can't believe she even treats the Crown Prince like that. She may be my fiancé, but our marriage is purely political. She endures so much because of her name. I guess you aristocrats have your own share of problems.
Okay.
Dracogen, we spoke with the Inquisition about
Literally, Hannah. I actually can't remember why I started making jokes about the two of them. I've decided, though, it doesn't matter. If I'm gonna be, like, in the weeds about, like, a ship that, like, doesn't make any sense for this game, I might as well go for some Yuri, right? Like, who cares, you know? Who gives a shit? Do not worry, Hannah. You are so fine. Like, clearly Tyrion and Celeste are supposed to be the main ship, and they are cute. Don't get me wrong, they're cute. But also, Celeste has 2 hands. Who cares? She can date both of them. I don't care.
Trickton, we spoke with the Inquisition about what they found in the vat, and they could only find bone matter belonging to Justin. Well, that, and several metallic shards. What? That can't be right. I know, I was hoping to find some hard evidence to prove my theory. I'll have to find another approach to prove it. No, that's not what I meant.
I already don't remember his voice.
There shouldn't be any solid matter in those vats. Are you talking about the metallic shards? I just assumed those were some kind of magical byproduct. No, the refinement process requires that everything in that vat remains a liquid. Solid matter would absorb the liquid's magical properties and taint the entire batch.
So those metal shards weren't supposed to be in there. Do you think they came from the broken pieces of the railing?
Possibly. We'll probably want to double check with the commander to make sure.
But this is definitely strange. You'll need to take a moment to work through all of this.
From what Drakeagen said, there shouldn't have been any solid matter in those vats. We've already confirmed that the bone matter they found came from Justin's body, but that leaves another question. How did the metallic shards appear in the vat?
Justine Wayne murdered the vat. Perfect.
A metal object was thrown into the vat.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Whatever the object was, it probably dissolved into the shards Orem found.
That's the thing, though. What should the magical liquid have done to the object? The magical liquid in the vat was extremely volatile. It was destructive enough to reduce an entire human body to a few shards of bone.
The vat liquid should have completely destroyed the metal object.
The object would have been completely destroyed. We shouldn't have found any metal shards in the first place.
What the fuck is this?
Right, but we did find them. How do you explain that?
Why wasn't the metal object fully destroyed?
That night, something happened that prevented the metal object from being fully destroyed.
Justin Wayne died shortly after... Okay. Oh, wait, the vat liquid was neutralized shortly after the accident was reported. Haha. Oh, violin.
When Astor and Morrison reported the accident, the workers immediately neutralized the liquid's magic. They did this to attempt to save Justin, but it would have also stopped the liquid from destroying anything else within the vat.
So that's why we found those metal shards.
And whatever the metal object was, it was only partially destroyed. This means that it fell into the vat around the time that Justin fell into the vat.
I feel like maybe Astor said the person that he saw fall into the vat was very stiff. Like, didn't, like, flail. Could it be, like, a suit of armor? Or, like a mannequin or a humanoid thing that wasn't a human but was made of, like, metal? Like, in the last one, we have those, enchanted suits of armor. Could it be something like that, do you think? No. Oh my god. It was Gold Leighton. Oh god, he's dead!
If it fell a while before the accident, it would have dissolved completely. And if it fell after the accident, it wouldn't have dissolved at all. Furthermore, whatever the object was...
I accidentally, hold on. I didn't read that.
Whatever the object was, it was probably as large as Justin.
Professor! Do you think this metal object had something to do with the second victim? Maybe they were holding it when they fell in.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely possible. We should take a closer look at the metallic shards that Commander White found. Those shards might help us identify the second victim.
If that person even exists. Okay. Okay. Oh, there it is. Up at the top this time. Oh my god. Luke would not emotionally recover from that. All he had left of the professor was a gold statue missing one of his arms. Luke would simply not survive. He simply wouldn't. I don't know what to tell you other than he would not be surviving that shit.
Commander White, you mentioned that you found several metallic shards in the vat. Do you mind if we take a look at them? Sure, just don't get any bright ideas about taking anything. You'll also want to avoid touching them with your bare hands. The liquid is neutralized, but it definitely ain't good for your skin.
The commander motions you to one of the Inquisition's knights. After a few moments, he brings back a large barrel filled with metallic shards.
What? There were that many? What could have possibly fallen into the vat?
Well, I guess we should get started.
Ugh. You spend some time closely inspecting the metallic shards with Celeste. The shards are only the size of small rocks, and it's difficult to find any discerning features.
Any luck on your end?
No, I haven't found...
Celeste?
I think I found something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, though.
Celeste pulls a metallic shard with some sort of... Celeste pulls out a metallic shard with some sort of engraving on it. Unlike other shards, this one looks far less damaged. The engraving on it looks like some sort of crest.
That's the crest of House Von Sanctus.
Isn't he the noble that's charging Dracogen?
Well, I doubt that Lord Von Sanctus was the second victim. Aster, do you know who would have had a house emblem like this? Normally, only the Lord's retainers would have the emblems of his house. Well, I doubt that Justin was the one who had this in his possession.
Do you think one of Von Sanctus's retainers fell into the vat that night?
It's definitely possible, but if that did happen, why haven't we heard about it?
It's possible that this is like some sort of evidence for the disappearing ship, which is why I got thrown in the vat.
Lord Von Sanctus would have the resources to keep something like that out of the public eye. The only way to know for sure would be to ask him ourselves, but even if we could talk to him, he would never cooperate with us.
You glance at the prince, and by glance I mean you look at him directly. Someone of his station would have no trouble meeting with Lord Von Sanctus. An idea begins to form in your mind.
Unless... What is it, Mr. Cuthbert? Aster, do you think you could help us interrogate Lord Von Sanctus? Really? You need my help! In this instance, it'd be very difficult to speak with him by ourselves. But as the Crown Prince, he'd be much more inclined to speak with you. Of course! I'd be happy to help!
You might be overplaying your hand by utilizing Aster this way. You're still wary of the prince, especially since he was one of the few mages at the scene.
Will this really work, though?
It's not ideal, but it's the only lead we have so far.
But it still bothers you. Why haven't you found any bone matter from the second person? Because there is no second person! Maybe you're overthinking it. You should pursue every lead and see where it takes you. And to do that, you need to find out where Lord Von Sanctus is. Oh yeah, it's kind of funny.
So this is Von Sanctus's house.
It'd be more appropriate to call this place a building rather than a house.
Ugh, what's that smell?
As you head further into the manor, you're hit with a very pungent and sour odor. It almost burns the interior of your nostrils every time you inhale. Well, we're here. You look around the manor but don't see anyone nearby. It looks like Lord Sanctus. Wouldn't you need the Von still there?
It looks like Lord Von Sanctus is at home at the moment. Perhaps we should try looking somewhere else.
Okay.
Rika, are you here?
You enter Rika's cafe and find the place completely empty. You see a sign on the front door. It reads, "Closed for today."
Looks like she closed the restaurant for today.
Since the Inquisition is involved now, they might have taken her in for questioning. I really wanted to go into detail about what she saw, but it looks like we'll have to go somewhere else.
Lloyd Von Sanctus?
We mustn't let such idealistic notions throw our nation into chaos.
You arrive at the town square and see Lord Von Sanctus speaking to several spectators from a podium. There's Lord Von Sanctus.
He appears to be giving some sort of speech.
You do your best to remain hidden from his view while you listen in.
Please understand, the actions of the nobility seem callous. However, we only have your best interests at heart. This controversy with the Dracogen Trading Company is just one of the many examples. These so-called unions that men like him support may seem appealing, but they only obfuscate and hinder the nobility from protecting the working class. Men like Stefanik Dracogen are merely charlatans. They only seek financial gain by strong-arming your true benefactors.
True benefactors? What a joke!
I knew that Von Sanctus was wary of Dracogen, but I never expected him to be this zealous about getting rid of him. I think it's less about Dracogen specifically, and more about what he represents. Like, power of the workers, I guess? What do you mean? The Dracogen Trading Company has presented tangible proof that its policies are both effective and profitable. Even businesses that have no affiliation with him have started following his example. Von Sanctus is merely a relic of the past, and I think he knows that his archaic ideals won't survive in this landscape.
Thanks for the rundown, bestie.
I can only hope that our grand kingdom recognizes this danger as I have.
The pompous noble leaves the podium as the citizens ponder his words.
Ugh, what a load of garbage. It's obvious that Von Sanctus knows his days are numbered.
But look at what happened. We let the common folk set their own standards and a young man died.
I guess you have a point there.
You saw Von Sanctus get into a carriage shortly after his speech. It appears to be heading back to his manor.
Anyways, we saw Von Sanctus heading back here. We should be able to speak with him soon.
Wait, Tyrion, isn't he going to recognize us?
We can't really avoid that. If we want to question him, we need to speak with him directly, and it's not my fault he's bad at chess. But even a noble like him would have to act civilly with the crown prince present.
You mean like how you civilly embarrassed and insulted him a few days ago because he's bad at chess? Right. You completely forgot about the chess tournament.
Well, it's not as if we can hide our identities from him. I faced him in the chess tournament, and I'm Dracogen's attorney. He knows what we look like.
What we look like? Wait, that's it!
What?
Illusio.
Wait, what are you? Wow.
Oh, that's a shortcut I didn't know existed.
That's quite impressive, Celeste.
Right? I've been practicing that one.
What are you two talking about? I think you should see for yourself.
The prince gestures towards a nearby mirror in the hallway. You reluctantly approach it. Just what did Celeste do to you?
What?
Oh my god!
Why do I look like Reese Rudolph?
It looks great, right? Eris taught that one to me. Uh-oh.
Do you honestly expect him to fall for this? He's probably a powerful mage. He'll see right through this.
Are you telling me that the crown prince is here? Why didn't you notify me sooner?
You hear Von Sanctus shouting at his attendant from down the hallway. He seems to be quickly heading this way.
Uh-oh.
You might want to disguise yourself as well, Celeste. Don't encourage her. This is extremely illegal.
Right,
Look, you should just dispel this ridiculous disguise and... He's almost here.
I can't think of anyone.
I'm terribly sorry for keeping your highness waiting.
Lucio!
Up! What was that?
What are you talking about?
I could have sworn that I heard something.
Oh, fuck. I didn't hear anything either. You must be imagining things. Oh, Lord help us. Of all the people she could have chosen. At least she's able to mimic her voice well enough. Noted. Thank you, video game.
Oh, Lady Steelwind, I wasn't expecting you until much later.
Well, I do not answer to you. I shall do as I please.
Yes, I suppose you have a habit of doing that.
Surprisingly, it doesn't look like he's seen through your disguises. He must have other things on his mind if his guard is down like this.
Anyways, Lord Von Sanctus, pardon the abrupt intrusion. I came to pay my respects.
so I'm honored by your majesty's presence. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy with administrative matters at the moment.
Materials.
Too busy to show hospitality to the heir of the throne. Oh, I wasn't. I suppose I might have some time to speak with you.
Conditions aren't ideal, but at least you have Von Sanctus here with you. You should let Prince Aster make small talk with him for a bit. After that, you can steadily bring on the Von Sanctus crest that you found in the vat.
I heard about the charges you've brought against the Dracogen Trading Company. Forgive my bluntness, but is everything well within your estate? Oh, that. I'm simply cleaning house, nothing more.
God, Ninja. The other day, my brother, who I feel like for some reason this is relevant, was in Spain with his fiance. The other day, out of nowhere, he texts me. Here it was 4 o'clock p.m. There it would have been like, what, 9? He texts me, "Hear me out. 12th night, but with its triplets instead of twins." And I said, "What would the third sibling be doing?" And he said, "The exact same thing as the other two. There's now 3 conflicting love triangles." And I told him, "Sounds messy." And he said, "Exactly," with a smiley face. I have zero context for where this came from. Just the concept is 12th night, but it's triplets instead of twins. He might be onto something. I am very curious by what that would mean. What would we do with that? What more shenanigans can we get into that we don't have in 12th night? There's already quite a few shenanigans happening. Also, I missed this. I saw it and I forgot to say it. Zooners too, if you're still here, thank you so much for following. Welcome to whatever this is. Shakespeare AUs, apparently. That's what we're currently doing.
But I'm simply cleaning house, nothing more. I've dealt with plenty of men like Dracogen before, and this time will be no different. I understand that he may be taking businesses away from you.
Yeah, adding a Z-axis to the shenanigans, taking this into a new, like, dimension.
I love Shakespeare.
But does that really warrant you taking such drastic measures? It's not just about his business, it's these ideas he's putting into people's heads. He's allowed these unions to continue existing, and other businesses are following his example. It's absolutely absurd. It's as if the entire world has gone mad. I see. Our society only functions when the lower class knows its place. If that's how our society functions, then perhaps it is flawed? You're still young, Prince Aster. These righteous ideals may sound appealing, but they are the path to disorder. The common folk do not care about the well-being of our kingdom as a whole. They only care about themselves individually.
His voice is changing drastically, but I don't care.
If we allow them to become empowered, they will use that power selfishly. It's up to the mid-upper class to maintain order.
It is not very subtle, I will say that.
I see. By the way, I'm surprised that you're representing Lord Von Sanctus, Lady Steelwind.
Oh, right.
What is he doing? It's already hard enough to maintain this ruse.
I knew that you recently became a prosecutor, but I never imagined that you'd represent a noble.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Aster.
What does that even mean?
Let's not be coy, Lady Steelwind. If you must know, Your Majesty, House Steelwind and I came to an arrangement. The fair lady is so keen on wasting her talents on civil work. Given that, I might as well utilize her to my benefit. Do not speak to her like that. Oh, I meant no disrespect, but rest assured, this is only temporary. I see. So you have an arrangement with Lucio Steelwind?
It seems that Aster is collecting his own information. Go, boy, go!
By the way, Lord Von Sanctus, have any of your attendants gone missing lately? That's an oddly specific question, but no, all of my attendants are accounted for.
You don't see any dissonant thoughts from the eye, but he could be unconsciously shielding himself from it?
I must ask, why would you ask such a question? You see, I actually found a discarded trinket while walking around the city. It had the crest of House Von Sanctus on it. I was worried that something unsavory might have happened to one of your people. Ah, I see. I suppose you must be on edge after what happened to your ship. However, items with the Von Sanctus crest are quite common nowadays. Really? The item you found must have been a product produced by Von Sanctus Industries.
An item produced by Von Sanctus Industries?
So, the Von Sanctus crest is on some of the items produced by your company?
What? Oh. Hannah, you can't go on Twitter. We've had this discussion. Until the two of us finish the Zero Escape series, we cannot be on Twitter. We just can't be on Twitter. Twitter just wants to give us every single spoiler for these games possible. It's completely unavoidable. You just can't do it. No scrolling allowed.
Not just some of the items. The Von Sanctus crest is engraved on every product created by the Von Sanctus Industries. As a result, people have come to associate the quality of our product with the quality of House Von Sanctus. Or at least they did, until hacks like Dracogen came out of the woodwork.
So, in other words, it's just branding. What type of products does Von Sanctus Industries produce?
I can't get her voice right now. I'm so sorry. We'll get back to it.
We used to produce magical accessories for mages, but now we produce all manner of products. As the head of commerce in our kingdom, we've diversified our holdings.
Oh.
Ugh, that means the metal shard could have come from anything. It seems the line of questioning has led to a dead end. Damn it, is it really impossible to identify where that shard came from?
Do you sell your products to the Dracogen Trading Company?
Yes, of course I do. Despite my misgivings with Dracogen, it would be foolish of me if I didn't do business with him.
That means there are Von Sanctus products in the Arcane refinery. You're called Von Sanctus Industries, after all.
That's true. The metal shard could have been from some sort of industrial tool.
Just what are you implying, Lady Steelwind?
A twinge of nervousness through the eye? Does he know something? Why would he get so defensive over a question like that?
Was there a Von Sanctus product in the refinery on the night of the murder?
She misspoke and said murder instead of accident. But that is evoking a reaction.
Answer the question, Von...
Celeste attempts to loudly slam the tip of her cane on the ground, only to realize that her cane isn't real. Ah! She loses her balance and tips over a nearby vase. Oh, god damn it! It's fine. The vase shatters on the ground, creating quite a mess of broken shards and water.
Lady Steelwind, are you okay?
Celeste immediately regains her balance and tries to act as if nothing happened.
I'm not paying for that.
Lord Von Sanctus completely loses his composure and recoils at the sight of the broken vase.
Construct, I require your assistance.
Construct! Perfect! I was right. I was so correct. I was right. Acknowledged. In response to Von Sanctus's call, an arcane construct walks out from a nearby closet. Oh my god.
Construct, clean up this mess at once.
He seems very disturbed by the mess. Is he some sort of clean freak? Acknowledged. The construct begins quickly picking up the shards of the broken vase.
You own an arcane construct? I do. Von Sanctus Industries is the inventor of the arcane construct after all.
Right. You recall Celeste mentioning that earlier. Glad someone recalls it, bestie.
Would you like one, Your Highness? My apologies, I'm not very interested in using artificery. Suit yourself.
Good pun.
In any case, I'm afraid Lady Steelwind must be taking her leave now.
What?
Remember, you said you could only accompany me for 1 hour? It's close to being 1 hour. It's been an hour? Jeez, you guys suck at talking.
It's right, Lady Steelwind?
What are you... Oh, right. 1 hour. It would definitely not be good for us to be here for more than 1 hour.
Oh. Does this illusion only last for an hour? It's a good thing that the prince knows what the fuck is going on, because the two of us sure fucking don't.
In the meantime, may I discuss some personal matters with you, Lord Von Sanctus? Of course, I'm at your disposal, Your Majesty.
You raise an eyebrow at the prince. It appears he didn't come here just to help you. But you suppose you've gotten all the information you need out of Von Sanctus. It's time to move on to the next lead.
was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was a bit too close for comfort.
Well, at least no one saw through our disguises.
Oop! Uh-oh. Ooh, that's awkward. I don't actually know what to do about this one, Celeste.
Ah, are you an attendant here? Please notify Lord Von Sanctus that I... The real Arya Steelwind walks through the front door of the manor just as you are about to exit. She immediately stops in her tracks upon meeting her doppelganger. A Burio. With one spell, Steelwind dispels the illusions over you and Celeste. Upon seeing who you really are, she lets out an irritated sigh. She's like, "You fucking two again? God, I'm sick of you." Is impersonating Steelwind some kind of hobby for you, Ms. McCoy? She looks really angry this time. No, there was a really good reason for us doing this. Let me guess. You wanted to interrogate Von Sanctus without him knowing who you really were. No? Lying about your name is one matter, but impersonating a noble using magic is a serious crime. Tyrion, help? Please?
Are you seriously going to have to defend her in court again? You quickly try to think of a way to diffuse the situation. Hey, Aster, can you come help us? Oh, sorry for the wait, you two. I had to discuss... Oh, Lady Steelwind. Great! According to Aster, Steelwind despises him. Knowing that he was a part of this will just make things worse. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus.
Your Majesty? Why is he here?
What? Oh, I see you've dispelled their disguises.
You knew about this?
What is this music? At the saxophone. Aster steps between you and Steelwind. It seems that he's trying to calm her down. For better or for worse, her attention is firmly focused on him, and maybe we should leave. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect you.
No, that's not why I... Oh, He's really close.
Okay? They pulled this ruse under my orders. Could you please look the other way, just this once?
Okay.
Thank you, Lady Steelwind. I won't forget this. I don't even know how to verbalize that.
I need to go. Well, that was certainly something.
I'm sorry you two had to see that.
What?
It's as I said before. She absolutely detests me. You saw it, didn't you? She could barely look me in the eye.
Oh my god.
In any case, we're starting to run out of time. We should head back to the refinery.
Anyway, but we still don't know where the metal shard came from.
From what Von Sanctus told us, I don't think we can find out exactly where it came from. If each of Von Sanctus's products has that crest, it could be any number of things. But hopefully Dracogen can help us narrow that list down. If it did come from some sort of industrial tool, he might be able to check if any of the refinery's tools are missing.
You just hope he can provide you with some sort of lead. Well? I completely blanked out on what we were doing. Oh, just kidding. Here we are. One sec, I need a drink.
Hello again, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you have good news. Well, actually...
You take some time to explain to Dracogen what you found during your investigation. You're still uncertain about the identity of the second victim. That metal shard with the Von Sanctus crest is your best lead right now, etc., etc.
I see. With that said, do you have any tools you've purchased from Von Sanctus Industries? I do. He personally sold me quite a few when I first arrived in the city. I even purchased the security system, the refinery building from him. Really? Could you purchase anything else from him? Well, he also tried to sell me some of those arcane constructs. He told me I could be the first person in Ardax to own such an innovative technology. But I turned him down.
Really? But they seem so useful.
I don't feel comfortable trusting machines to handle the work here. Those constructs require very specific instructions, and they lack common sense. That's true. We saw how unreliable they could be during the Nightgrave case. He heavily emphasized how exclusive this deal would be for me. Looking back on it, he was probably trying to make me dependent on his services.
Yeah, I guess he made the right choice by refusing his offer.
Anyways, oh wait, wrong voice. Anyways, have any of the tools from Von Sanctus Industries been reported missing? The Inquisition actually asked me the same question, so I took some time today to check my inventory.
Why would the Inquisition ask him for that? Did Steelwind come to the same conclusion that you did?
There was one tool that was unaccounted for. Really? What kind of tool was it? A rod of mending. It's a large tool that we use to repair damage on the machines. A tool for repairs? How large was it? Quite large, actually. It's called a rod. It's more of a large cylindrical tool. It requires two people to properly carry and use it.
Wait, a repair tool like that would use transmutation magic, right?
That's right.
What if the Rod of Mending was the thing that weakened the guardrail?
Is that possible, Dracogen? I suppose that is possible. Now that you mention it, I recall there being a way to reverse its effects.
You never even considered that the transmutation traces were left by an artificery tool. That does lift some suspicion off Aster. Someone could have sabotaged the rail with the rod. And they might have thrown it into the vat to cover their tracks.
But it didn't completely dissolve? That would mean they threw the rod in close to when Justin fell off the walkway. It can't be a coincidence that these two events happened so close to each other.
And we still have no idea who actually broke the rail. We didn't find a second body in the vat, and we don't even have evidence that proves a second victim even exists. I put even in there twice.
I feel as we have more questions than answers at the moment. We've learned quite a few new facts about the case, though, and the Inquisition has verified that the traces of transmutation on the guardrail. There we go. The burden of proof is still on the prosecution to prove that Dracogen is at fault. Even if Steelwind has a proper explanation for that, I can counter her with the facts that we've learned thus far. I just hope that the trial goes as smoothly as you're describing.
It won't. It rarely ever does, but knowing that would needlessly stress him out.
Regardless, I appreciate the work that you've done so far. I leave things in your capable hands.
You just hope that you don't encounter any more curveballs tomorrow. Oh boy. I would like to save my progress. Lots of back and forth from you.
Court is now resumed for the trial of Stephanic Dracogen. Let us review the proceedings from 2 days ago. At first, the facts of the case seemed straightforward. The victim, Justin Way, put his weight on a poorly maintained guardrail on the refinery grounds. Said guardrail broke, causing Justin Way to fall to his death. However, the defense presented a shocking piece of evidence in the previous proceedings. Traces of transmutation magic were found on that same broken guardrail. This new evidence implies that sabotage, if not outright foul play, played a part in the death of the victim. This evidence is also accompanied by conflicting testimonies from witnesses. All these elements have thrown quite some doubt on the validity of the prosecution's case.
Yes, however, the prosecution maintains that the Dracogen Trading Company is at fault for Justin Way's death.
Even though someone may have sabotaged the guardrails?
The prosecution acknowledges that sabotage may have occurred at the scene of the incident. However, we also believe that there are several factors in this case that the court is overlooking. As we all know, several witnesses were present at the refinery at the time of the accident. The harbor master was showing a patron around the refinery. Musarika Tudor was making a food delivery and entered the building. And of course, the victim, Justin Way, was obviously present as well. Each and every one of those people had no business being in the refinery that night.
In the case of the harbor master and his patron, it would be hardly reasonable for anyone to stop them.
You doubt that anyone would stand in the way of the Crown Prince. That may be, but Justin Way worked in the freight division and should not have been on the scene.
I've already verified this with my client.
The victim was not authorized to be in the refinery building.
And who stopped Justin Wei from entering the area unauthorized? Isn't it the defendant's duty to prevent such individuals from entering the building?
My client can't be held responsible for Justin's breach of the set protocols, and you surely can't hold my client responsible for someone sabotaging the guardrail.
This so-called sabotage is only theoretical until a proper culprit is found.
I might be compelled to agree with you, Miss Steelwind. After all, there's no hard evidence that proves that traces of transmutation were left by a specific spell.
What kind of mental gymnastics is that? Every part of the guardrail had traces on it was rusted.
Oh, they're bending the context of what happened to suit their purposes.
Hard evidence means everything here, and the rod of mending has been reduced to shards in the vat. You guys are assuming it's a rod of mending. Without the complete rod, you can't prove that someone used it to sabotage the guardrail.
Regardless, it is not the responsibility of the Dracogen Trading Company to ensure that its employees do not wander.
Wait, I read that wrong.
Regardless, is it not the responsibility of the Dracogen Trading Company to ensure that its employees do not wander into restricted areas? Blaming a potential saboteur puts the cart before the horse. It doesn't just stop with Justin Wei either. Why was Mosarika Tudor able to enter the building? She doesn't even work for the refinery, yet she was able to waltz into the building without any trouble.
Actually, Steelwind does have a point about Rika. Shouldn't something have stopped her from entering that area? You doubt that Dracogen would show that kind of negligence.
If that's true, then I believe we should hear from Miss Tudor directly. Let's hear how easily she gained access to the refinery on the day of the accident.
We've already anticipated that. Mosarika Tudor is prepared and ready to testify.
Very well then. Bailiff, please escort Miss Tudor to the stand.
Oh god, I forgot you looked like that.
Ms. Tudor, are you aware of why you've been called here today?
Yeah, I heard everything from the galley.
Then you will have no problem answering the following question. Did you encounter resistance when you entered the refinery the night of the accident? Witness, may I remind you that you are under oath to tell the court everything that you know. Failure to do so is a crime.
No. No one tried to stop me. Sorry, Tyrion.
You have nothing to apologize for, witness. The only one at fault is the Dracogen Trading Company and their negligence.
Hey, that's...
For the record, please testify in detail about how you entered the refinery that day, Ms. Tudor.
Okay. That day, I was looking for Justin in the freight area, but I couldn't find him. I decided to look for him in the refinery's main building. There was some kind of magical door leading into it, but it was unlocked. Nothing really stopped me from entering the refinery building.
As the court can clearly see, there were no safeguards preventing the witness from entering the restricted area.
The witness clearly stated that there was a magical door leading into the building. That was obviously some sort of security door powered by artificery.
Which was still unlocked and effectively useless.
Damn it. There must be a way to prove that the unlocked door wasn't Dracogen's fault.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
God, my voice.
By magical door, do you mean that it was a door powered by artificery?
Yeah, I have a door like it in my restaurant too. But this one looked a lot more complex.
Why would you or Dracogen need magical doors anyways?
The one in my cafe magically locks the shop when I close it for the day. I guess the door to the refinery building was for the same thing.
But that means there was a mechanism to keep out unauthorized personnel.
Which was effectively useless. The witness entered the refinery and encountered zero resistance. Furthermore, the Inquisition has already logged the specs for the door.
The only entrance to the refinery building is a door with an artificery lock. Magical keys can be used to unlock the door for 5 seconds. After these 5 seconds, the lock automatically closes the door and engages the lock. The lock can only be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen. The door could be physically prevented from closing, but this would trigger an alarm within the refinery security system.
Did you use a key to unlock this door, Ms. Tudor?
No, I didn't. Yeah. You're right, it does. It really says, hey, check out her boobs.
As you can see from this report, Stephanic Dracogen was the only person capable of disabling the lock.
I guess Mr. Dracogen kept the door unlocked during work hours?
This means that it's entirely Dracogen's fault that the victim was gained access to the building in the first place.
Wait, that's not what I meant to...
But that is what you implied, unless you can prove that another person disabled that door.
You can't refute that statement. Yet. But you might be able to work with this new information. Regardless, please add that last statement to your testimony, witness.
Alright.
That's quite the leap in logic.
The specs of the door state that the lock can only be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen.
Sorry, but I can't think of any other reason why it would be disabled. I mean, I get it. Sometimes I forget the key to my shop. It becomes a real headache when I get locked out.
You suppose that makes sense, but would Dracogen really do something like that? The lock is designed to be disabled only by Dracogen, but perhaps someone did something to bypass that. I think we're probably gonna have to present this on that, but we will... Let's give it a shot. I hit the wrong button.
Objection!
No, that's not it. My bad.
You were there to deliver him dinner to him. Am I correct?
Yeah, he was usually in the freight area around that time. I was surprised when I didn't see him there. I was a little worried, so...
Okay, that's nothing.
It seems strange that you'd go looking for him. Why not just leave his food with one of his coworkers?
I thought of that, but I also wanted to make sure he was okay. I was the one who helped get him this job in the first place. It wouldn't look good if he left in the middle of a shift. How did you enter the refinery building, Miss Tudor?
Okay, great. But it was unlocked.
Are you sure you're not forgetting any obstacles that you encountered?
No, I would have remembered something like that. If someone told me I wasn't supposed to be there, I would have just left.
She seemed sincere about that. It was probably an honest mistake.
Rika didn't even realize she entered a restricted area.
But the fact that she was able to enter so easily is definitely strange. Dracogen must have had precautions to prevent such a thing from happening.
Maybe the employees got lazy and disabled the lock against his orders.
It's possible, but would Dracogen really allow something like that to happen? Okay, what do I have? Send message.
Objection!
Yeah, that's fair enough. My dog is yelling.
Objection! Objection!
Alright, there we go. That took maybe too long. Whoop. Yeah, maybe Fantasy Lockpicking Lawyer was recording a video near the scene of the crime. We don't know. Which basically was correct.
Miss Steelwind, you claim that my client expressed negligence by disabling the door. This is the reason why the security door was unlocked, and why the current witness was able to enter the building.
That's correct. Your client's negligence allowed unauthorized persons like Justin Wade to gain access to the building. And regardless of any sabotage, Justin Wade died because he was in said unauthorized area.
And what if I told you that another person may have disabled the door? Not because of laziness, but for more nefarious purposes. Don't mind that I messed up that word.
What are you talking about?
If you recall, the witness entered the refinery building and spotted Justin Way afterward. This means that Justin Way entered the building before her. So that begs the question, how did Justin Way enter the building?
The answer is obvious. He entered the same way the witness did, through the unlocked door.
Not quite, Miss Steelwind. Since this trial began, we still haven't answered why Justin Way entered the refinery building in the first place. He entered the refinery building with the intent of robbing my client's personal safe.
I already told you that, Tyrion. He would never do something like that.
You feel a little guilty about insulting a dead man's name like this, but it's the only possibility that makes sense.
I'm sorry, Rika, but there are things about Justin that even you didn't know about. The truth is that he was deeply in debt to a crime lord named the Eye Taker. He was extremely desperate to wipe out that debt as soon as he could.
Crime lord? I won't ask how you came across this information, Mr. Cuthbert, even though it's probably important to put that in writing for the trial.
This, like, if you don't have any, like, if you don't ask where that came from, if you don't have evidence for where that came from, then, like, isn't that just heresy? Is that what heresy is? What's heresy? Wait a minute. Heresy. Belief or opinion okay, that's religious. Profoundly at odds with general. I think heresy law. Sure, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if this would be heresy or something. This is definitely something. Here, maybe hearsay. Yeah, it would be hearsay. It would be hearsay. Thank you, Ninji. Ooh, what kind of dessert natte? I'm like kind of really hungry. I can kind of smell someone making food, and I'm kind of very hungry now. Hold on, I was responding to a friend talking about The Bachelorette. It was important! Dude, that looks so good. I'm so hungry right now. I'm really hungry, and I think I have ice cream, but I think I need like actual food after this, and I don't know how to deal with that at all. Food.
But what does this have to do with the disabled magical lock?
Miss Steelwind, Justin owned a set of tools that he used for picking mundane and magical locks. The safe that he was planning to rob was located in my client's office within the refinery building. I have witnesses who saw Justin retrieve those tools shortly before the night of the incident. He clearly had a plan to disable any locks that stood between him and that safe. This means that it's entirely possible that Justin disabled the locked refinery door illegally.
It's not free. Oh, fuck yeah. I have sourdough starter, and I'm like debating making some on Wednesday, but that means like I need to do all the prep with my starter, and I haven't done that in so long, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really scared. So maybe tomorrow I'll find a video so I can do all the prep for my starter so I can actually make sourdough, and it'll be a bad loaf of sourdough, but it'll be a loaf of sourdough, you know what I mean? I know bread is practice. If there's anything I've learned about baking in the past 4 years that I've been doing it, it's that, not even 4, it's 6 now because I started doing it when I got home from college. If there's anything I've learned in my past 6 years of baking, it's that a lot of stuff is just practice, especially when it comes to things like bread, but that doesn't make it less scary. Maybe I'm scared of it. What if I'm nervous?
This means that it's entirely possible that Justin disabled the locked refinery door illegally.
We're not actually going to bring them in, are we?
Yeah, I'm kind of bluffing right now. You basically assaulted one of them.
We both assaulted him, Tyrion.
She says that as it absolves her of any guilt. Hold on a minute. You can't just accuse him like that when he can't defend himself.
I'm sorry, Rika, but his delinquent friends told me about his plan. He didn't want to rob Dracogen, but he needed the gold to wipe away his debt. If Justin wasn't the one that disabled the lock, that would only leave Dracogen.
But there has to be an explanation where neither of them is guilty. She definitely believes in Justin,
But a scenario where both Justin and Dracogen are innocent is too optimistic, if not impossible.
but it's not as if you are entirely certain of what actually happened that day either.
Alright, Rika. You knew Justin better than I did. Let's assume you're correct. Neither Justin nor Dracogen disabled the locks that day. How did either of you enter the refinery then?
Oh, well, someone must have disabled it before then? Wait, let me think this through. Plenty of people could have disabled the locks. Maybe one of the employees got lazy and forcefully broke it. There was also that nobleman who was with Mr. Morrison. He's a mage and could have used magic to do it. It could have also been one of the maintenance constructs. I saw one working on the machines. Maybe one of them broke the lock. There are no maintenance constructs!
I can barely even begin to point out all the issues with your theories, Ms. Tudor. If you recall, the entrance lock can only be disabled by Stephanic Dracogen. Even Mr. Cuthbert's theory makes more sense than your list of suspects.
She's right. Doesn't matter how many suspects she presents. None of them had the credentials to disable the lock. So why do you feel like there is something else wrong with her testimony? Because I already figured it out.
The defense would still like to exercise the right to cross-examine the witness.
What a waste of time.
While the court agrees with Miss Steelwind, we also recognize Miss Cuthbert's right to cross-examination. However, I will not allow the defense to waste the court's time. If nothing substantial is gained from your cross-examination, I will not hesitate to end it early. Understood, Your Honor.
Okay.
Objection!
Wait, that can't be right, can it?
Rika, you said that you saw a maintenance construct inside the refinery building? Are you sure that it was an arcane construct?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them in the Bon Sanctus catalogs, but they're not available to the public yet.
When you saw this arcane construct, what was it doing?
I'm not exactly sure, but it looks like it was doing maintenance on the machines. Maintenance? On the machines? But it shouldn't have been there in the first place. What was it doing there? And more importantly, who sent it there?
Where are you going with this, Mr. Cuthbert? Arcane constructs only perform the actions that they're ordered to do. A construct at an arcane refinery would only take orders from their administrator, Stephanic Dracogen, unless you want to imply that the construct broke the lock on his orders.
I agree, a construct owned by my client wouldn't have done that. But arcane constructs are extremely rare and not available to the general public yet. Furthermore, they are only produced and sold by Von Sanctus Industries. Lloyd Von Sanctus personally sold several products to the Dracogen Trading Company. However, when offered the opportunity to purchase his arcane constructs, my client turned him down.
What?
My client disliked the construct's flawed intelligence. He didn't want them working in the refinery. He turned down Lord Von Sanctus's offer in favor of utilizing human labor.
Wait, then why did I see a construct there?
Exactly. If my client did not own any constructs, why did the witness see one there? Or to phrase this question differently, who sent that construct there?
Who? Why would anyone send an arcane construct into the refinery?
First, let's consider the rarity of arcane constructs. They are highly experimental and not available to the public yet. With all these elements in mind, only one person in the silly city. With all these elements in mind, only one person in the city of Arnax could have done this.
Wait, you can't possibly mean...
I do, Miss Steelwind. Once again, I'm going to indict one of the nobility.
Who sent the arcane construct?
Few individuals had access to an arcane construct, and even fewer had the ability to disable the lock without alerting the security system. Only one individual could have done everything that I described. Lloyd von Sanctus, the noble lord of Oranax.
You can't be serious. Are you accusing Lord von Sanctus of illegally sending a construct into the arcane refinery? What possible reason would he have to do that?
When Rika saw the construct, she said that it was working on the machines, but that construct was sent by von Sanctus. It didn't actually work for Dracogen. Wait, could that mean...
Rika, when you saw that construct in the refinery, was it carrying anything?
Yeah, actually. It was carrying a large cylindrical machine, and it looked pretty heavy.
Voice wrong.
Like, it would normally need to be held by 2 people?
Yeah? How'd you know? It all makes sense now. Von Sanctus had been far too aggressive in pushing these changes. It wasn't because he was desperate to get rid of Dracogen. It was because he needed to cover up what actually happened.
Mr. Cuthbert, where are you going with this? You see, Your Honor, the tool that the witness saw the construct carrying wasn't just any tool. It was a rod of mending, an artificery tool that channels transmutation magic.
Transmutation magic. As in, magic that could be used to weaken and sabotage parts of the refinery.
No, are you seriously accusing... Your Honor, Lord von Sanctus sent a construct into the arcane refinery to sabotage it. In other words, Lord von Sanctus is responsible for the guardrail breaking.
I think that's enough out of you, you upstart commoner.
The judge really needs to stop these guys from just barging onto the stand. To be fair, who's going to stop a noble from a pillar family?
I've had enough of these blatant accusations. If you want to sling mud at my name, you will do it to me directly.
Lord von Sanctus, I would highly advise against doing this.
Please, do you think I'm like that fool Pierce? The defense's theory is laughable, and I have several pieces of evidence that can easily prove my innocence.
He has a good poker face, but the eye is telling you that he's a little desperate.
Very well, if the defense wishes to accuse you, I see no harm in allowing you to defend yourself. The court would very much like to hear your testimony on the matter. We would like to go to bed.
Yeah, lawyers are like, hey, can you guys shut the fuck up? And they're like, no, listen to what I have to say for a while.
It is possible to order a construct to complete a complex list of tasks, but doing so is ill-advised. I'm sure you observed this with the Nightgrave trial. Constructs are extremely prone to error when completing a long list of tasks. According to the defense, the saboteur stole a rod of mending and used it to sabotage a very specific section of the refinery. I would never trust a construct to discreetly complete such an intricate set of tasks unsupervised. And before you ask, I was miles away from the refinery at the time of the incident. I have several associates who can confirm this alibi. Therefore, I had no way of observing this construct from afar, nor did I have any way to communicate with it.
That actually makes a lot of sense. The Nightgrave trial revealed the risks of ordering a construct to commit a crime. But nevertheless, Rika saw a construct at the refinery that day. That's indisputable. He definitely gave the construct a complex list of tasks to sabotage the refinery, and that raises one question. How did he account for the construct's error-prone logic? No, that's gotta be 30 feet.
But I don't have anything else. Do we just want to try this? Maybe we just try this.
Objection!
I fucking guess that's it. I mean, didn't he say it was miles away? Like, I don't actually think this works, but... Sorry, this was bothering me. I have label paper from... I've been packing zines again. There's one thing about me, it's that I'm gonna be packing zines.
Von Sanctus, you testified that there was no way for you to observe and communicate with the construct. Am I correct?
Yes, I was at that meeting with Steelwind for the entire day. If anyone there could tell you that, maybe that's what it said.
I'm not disputing your so-called alibi, but it's not as airtight as you might think.
What are you talking about?
I could. I'm not going to, but I know your address. I know Hannah's address. I know Nate's address. I don't know who else is in here. I probably don't know anyone else's address. To be fair, I don't know everyone's name. So the name that they would put on a package for, like, delivery. So, while I could probably narrow down, Ninja as well as JFK and also Cryptid, I would not actually be able to tell you who you are directly, unlike Hannah. I just straight up know who Hannah is. Hi, Hannah.
I was there at that meeting, Mr. Cuthbert. Lord Von Sanctus may have been absent in mind, but he was there physically.
Absent in mind. So his attention wasn't focused on the meeting, which means that his attention was somewhere else.
I suppose you're correct, Miss Steelwind, but I still have one question for you, Lord Von Sanctus. What would that be? Are you able to cast the send message spell?
What?
Miss Steelwind, your client may have been physically at the meeting, but his attention was somewhere else, wasn't it? He could have used a combination of spells to view the construct during the meeting, and he could have used the send message spell to communicate with it over a large distance. If my claim is truly false, your client should have no trouble disproving it with his spell compendium.
Only 80, Ninja?
Well...
Von Sanctus.
You appear to be hesitating, Von Sanctus, and I assume that you do know the spell, how to cast send message. If so, that would punch a gigantic hole in your alibi. Steelwind, if you were there, weren't you? My attention was fully there. I need her to cover for me. The idea that I was communicating with a construct is absurd.
I kind of want to make... I don't think we have it. I wish... I don't know if we have, like, any vegetables, but, like, now I'm like, I want fried rice. Like, veggie fried rice. Fuck.
I'm afraid that I can't say that, Lord Von Sanctus.
Steelwind.
I'm actually going to be in NYC this weekend, Ninja. I will be there. Me, Haley, Nella take NYC for, like, 26 hours to go see another Gatsby musical. Another Gatsby musical. I'm going to be fucking insufferable. If there's anything about me, it's that I'm about to become the most insufferable human on the planet. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, we're gonna be in NYC, so look out, Ninja. I don't know what my threat is. We're not gonna be in the same place. It's a big city, but look out. Fucking look out. Oh, thanks, Hannah. I can here. Okay, I'm gonna be so real with you guys. When I was talking on Tumblr about Gatsby and American Myth, which is the one that was in Cambridge, I got a bunch of people who were really sweet, who were fans of Gatsby, who were replying to some of my posts. And I went through their blogs because I wanted to hear people talk about Gatsby and I wanted to hear people talk about the show, and not many people were talking about it because it's so secretive. And none of them like the New York, none of them like the Broadway Gatsby. Like, none of them. They think it's really bad. So I'm excited, but I don't know if I'm going to like it much. I'm sure I'll enjoy it in the sense that I enjoy live theater. I enjoy live theater. I like being in the building. It makes me upset in a way that is hard to explain to people who aren't theater kids. But I do like live theater, so I'm sure I will enjoy it. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. We're going on Saturday at 8. If you care. But
I have this feeling deep in my soul that it's not going to be, not to be dramatic. I haven't given everyone all the details of Gatsby and American Myth yet because I want to write up a whole thing comparing the two, and I want to leave most of the things that happen in Gatsby and American Myth for that write-up because I feel like they do color the experience so much. Like, I understand to some extent why they have been pretty secretive about it because there are a few things that I can see people getting upset about and bothering the cast members about. Not like things that any of you guys would be upset about, more conservatives. So I can understand that. But Gatsby and American Myth, for me, asked so many good questions and wanted to have a conversation. Like an actual genuine conversation about The Great Gatsby and what it means and like what this specific version of The Great Gatsby means and how do we deal with that and all of that. After the show, the theater the next day actually sent me an email with like, they have like a big question for the show. This might be something that the American Repertory Theater does for all of their musicals. But they sent it and were like, post online what you think the answer to this big question is. And with full respect to what The Great Gatsby on Broadway is, this is not an entertaining conversation for people who aren't into musicals, I'm so sorry. But I don't think that is the energy that The Great Gatsby on Broadway is bringing. From the very little that I've seen of it, it seems to be a little bit more surface level entertainment, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having just a fun time. A bunch of people at the show that I was at were talking about comparing the two. So many people, it was such a relief. So many people have seen both shows, and a lot of them had seen the Broadway one before the Cambridge one. And one of the people behind me said, "Oh, well, the one on Broadway is a lot more literal, and it's a lot more glitz and glamour, and this one is kind of like the modern adaptation of that." So I think it's going to be very surface level, and like fun entertainment is fine, but like for me, someone who's read Gatsby twice in an academic setting, and just inherently the way I personally interact with that text is from an analytical standpoint. Like, there's a reason it is considered classic American literature. There's a reason you talk about it in school. There's a lot to talk about, depending on how deep you want to go. But I just don't think that they're going to be doing that, and that's fine. If Jeremy Jordan, like most of the people I found in the Gatsby tag were just kind of excited, it seemed to be like talking about Jeremy Jordan again, which is good for them, but like, unfortunately I saw like a deeply like thoughtful and questioning musical before, so that is that's the issue. Did you have we talked about you seeing Back to the Future? That's what you're talking about, right? Because I don't remember anything about you talking about it. I just remember us vaguely touching upon it. Hello! I should get back to playing the video game. I'm sorry. I need to go on my little tangent about it. I'm sorry. I'll be annoying next week. Next Monday, we are not going to get fuck all done. We're not going to get fuck all done. I'm telling you guys this now, so we'll finish this case because I am going to be so fucking annoying next week. And I'm so sorry about it. I'm so sorry. Hannah knows this. I did not shut up for days after I saw the first Gatsby musical. It was embarrassing. I got so embarrassed. I was genuinely I felt so embarrassed by how much I was talking about, but I couldn't stop. I really couldn't. Ninji, I'm so sorry it was mid. There's nothing worse than being excited for something or something being related to something you love, and then it's mid. I'm sorry. It was so embarrassing. It was I got really in my feelings about it and very stressed about how much I was talking about it. I just ended up queuing a bunch of posts talking about it because I was too embarrassed to keep making posts. It was, they'll get posted eventually and people will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'll be like, don't worry. Don't worry. None of you can see it. Florence won't release the fucking album. When will you guys release an album for me? Anyway.
I did find it odd. Your attention appeared to be elsewhere, despite the gravity of our discussion. And I seem to recall you speaking under your breath the entire time.
I wish I could see more shows. I'm just too far away. I'm glad you enjoyed Sweeney Todd. I fucking love Sweeney Todd. To be real quick, I did pit for Sweeney Todd. In I think maybe the summer between high school and college. Or maybe was it summer between 2 high school years? I don't remember, but I did pit for Sweeney Todd. And I was like listening to the score on repeat. And I actually had to stop because I wasn't very familiar with the show before that. So I had to when you do pit, you get the stuff. You have like 2 rehearsals, then you have tech week. So you have to fucking know your music. And I wasn't familiar with the show, so I was just listening to the original cast recording on repeat, and I actually had to stop because it was giving me anxiety attacks. Because the music is that good at suspense building that even when I was doing other stuff, like I was doing a lot of drawing while listening to it, just to like really like get the music into my system, to just know it. Just know it. It was giving me so much anxiety because, like, there is a reason why Sweeney Todd is considered, like, one of the few successful horror musicals. It's really good. It's really good. It's really good. Like, highly recommend. Whatever version you can see, except, maybe, like, the movie's fine, but I wouldn't want, like, the movie is fine. The movie's fine, but it's nowhere near as good. Plus, they, like, cut the first song. That's no fun. Just, like, I think there's some bootlegs online. Definitely watch it. Definitely.
I had just assumed that you were muttering obscenities, but Mr. Cuthbert's explanation does seem possible.
What are you saying? Aren't you obligated to defend me?
I'm obligated to represent you to the best of my ability. I am not obligated to forge your alibi for you.
You little...
But damn.
Lord Von Sanctus, I'm afraid the court needs an answer. Are you able to cast the send message spell?
Fine, I admit it, okay? I am able to cast send message. But that still doesn't prove anything.
His voice betrays a hint of desperation.
You have him right where you want him. Now is our opportunity to deal the final blow.
So why do you feel so uneasy? There are still 2 details that don't sit well with you. Tumbled over the guardrail, fall over. Okay.
Oh.
However, even if it's not a clear ending, there's only one way forward.
Are they still worried about that second person? Because it's still the construct. It is still the construct, bestie. I figured this out like an hour ago.
And that's revealing Von Sanctus for the petty saboteur that he is.
Suspect. Argument.
Why did you hesitate so long to answer my question, Von Sanctus? You know very well why I hesitated. Why would I willingly give you evidence? You clearly intend to use it against me. Regardless, this entirely disproves your alibi. You could have communicated with your construct at the meeting. By that logic, I could be the mastermind behind every crime that occurs in Aranax. Someone else could have sent that construct. I may have had the means to commit this crime, but there are plenty of other individuals that could have sent an arcane construct.
This one is gonna be... I think it's a one, yeah. This makes sense.
Von Sanctus, you of all people should know that the arcane constructs are not available to the public. When you attempted to sell these constructs to Dracogen, you promised him that he would be the first merchant in Aranax to own one. Since he refused your offer, that would leave you as the only owner of arcane constructs in Aranax.
Well, I admit I may not have been that truthful when I made my sales pitch.
So you're saying that you lied to my client?
Oh, please. Every good businessman knows how to embellish the truth when making a sale. I've sold constructs to other individuals. The truth is that I've sold those contracts to plenty of other individuals in Aranax. If only it would be too dangerous to sell it to anyone else.
Okay, so that's probably... Okay, it's gotta be this.
Frankly, Von Sanctus, I find that hard to believe. After the Nightgrave trial, you must have been a lot more fearful about who you sold your constructs to. You tried to sell your constructs to Dracogen.
It might... Let me check my bitrate real quick. It looks like it was Twitch. It dropped for a second. We're okay now, but I think Twitch is just... Yeah, it just dropped for a second. Who knows what... Twitch has been very strange recently for all of us.
You only tried to sell your constructs to Dracogen so that you could control him. You wouldn't have done that otherwise. Is that so? Then why don't you prove it? No, Von Sanctus, why don't you prove your statement? Show us any invoice that proves you made a sale to someone in Aranax.
Well, who says that the saboteur lived in Aranax when I made the sale?
Are you serious?
Aranax is a trading hub. Plenty of people come and go from the city. The saboteur could be someone who secretly entered Aranax. Any one of my customers could have secretly entered the city to carry out the sabotage.
I don't think they could have.
Von Sanctus, you might have been right under any other circumstance, but the King's Guard locked down the city on the day that the accident occurred.
Terrible line read. Terrible line read.
No one except for a select few individuals could have left or entered the city. And due to the gravity of the situation, the King's Guard created profiles of everyone within the city. Why don't we cross-reference the record taken by the King's Guard with the list of individuals who you've sold constructs to? But I suppose from your reaction, that list would come up empty. So why don't you admit to your crime, Von Sanctus? Or do I have to drag the evidence into court myself?
Wait, drag the evidence into court? Of course, how could I forget?
What?
Why don't you go ahead and do that, Mr. Cuthbert? Bring in your so-called evidence.
Now, I don't know where this confidence is coming from, but we can easily detect traces of divination and transmutation on the constructs you own.
Assuming that construct still exists, that is.
Wait, that's right. If he used a construct to commit a crime like this, he would have definitely disposed of it by now. Even with that blockade, Harnax is a gigantic city. With his resources, he could have hidden it anywhere within the city. It would be a needle hidden within a town of haystacks.
We still have the testimony of Mosarika Tudor, and I'm sure many other people saw that construct walking around the refinery.
The common folk can hardly be trusted to recognize complex artificery. Without the actual construct, you still have several unreliable witnesses. Tell me, Lady Steelwind, can I be convicted on such a serious charge without such evidence?
No, I suppose not, but I don't like you.
Damn it! Is he seriously going to get away with this? No, you still have one card up your sleeve. If you could just find out where he disposed of the evidence, you might be able to direct the Inquisition there. Come on, focus on his thoughts, Tyrion. Activate the empowered eye.
Your undignified glaring will do you no favors.
What? Why isn't it working? She was like, you fool, it won't work. Ms. Tamora was right. You've been relying on the empowered eye too much.
From your silence, I assume that you have no way to rebuke my claim.
Or rebut? I don't know. I think it's rebut, actually. I just looked this up for a book.
I suppose that makes it checkmate, you upstart commoner. Honestly, I can't believe you resort to accusing me of manslaughter. What a crass and underhanded tactic. But I suppose I wouldn't expect anything less from a charlatan like you.
Damn it.
Oh, blah.
What the hell are you doing?
What?
That look on your face, are you seriously giving up? I've seen you get out of plenty of situations like this, so why are you giving up this time?
I'm sorry, Celeste, but I can't use my usual strategies. There's no way to find the evidence that we need.
Seriously? There's always a way, Tyrion. Also, I figured this out like yesterday morning. If your usual strategies aren't working, then you just need to do something different. She's right. You don't need to see directly into his mind to utilize your skills as an attorney. You may not be able to rely on the Eye of Horus this time, but you've always been able to rely on deductive reasoning.
Well, it seems you have no further questions from me. And you clearly don't have a shred of physical evidence to support your claims. I think I'll be taking my leave. I'm not quite done with you yet, Von Sanctus. Honestly, your desperation is almost pitiful. You should really learn to lose with dignity, Mr. Cuthbert.
He's the last person you want to hear that from. Calm your mind and focus. You may not be able to read Von Sanctus's mind in the literal sense, but you can still extrapolate his plans and his actions.
Let's explore my theory a little more and see for ourselves if there's no physical evidence. If you wanted to use a construct, you would have needed to maintain constant communication. So to prove that this communication occurred, we would need something that connects you to it.
Which piece of evidence would connect the murder to Von Sanctus?
Sent message can normally only target a person, but arcane constructs probably don't count as people for the purposes of that spell. What piece of evidence would that leave behind?
That's so funny. Oh man. Yeah. I figured it out, like, I think as soon as Dracogen was like, yeah, he tried to sell us a construct or something. I was like, oh, it's not a person that's in there. It's a construct, because Aster was like, yeah, they fell in super weird. They didn't flail. And I was like, oh, okay, it's like a suit of armor or something.
An arcane construct isn't a person, so you must have used an object attuned to your magic to communicate with it. Ms. Steelwind, if we were able to find that object, would that tie your client to the sabotage?
Hypothetically, yes. The Inquisition has divination magic, and they can use it to detect if an object is attuned to a specific mage.
Good luck finding such evidence. If I did perform these acts, the remains could be anywhere in Aranax. I am not so sure about that, Von Sanctus. Let's look at things from your perspective. Why would you do the things you did that day? Knowing that will point us where you ultimately hid the construct. Your intention was to sabotage the refinery without anyone finding out what you did. So how would you dispose of the construct and the attuned item?
How could Von Sanctus easily destroy the evidence? He needed to hide and or destroy it so that no one would be able to find it.
Wait, destroy? Oh.
The evidence was thrown into the vat of volatile liquid.
Put it in the soup! Also, thank you, Nexamary Lesser 223 for following. Welcome to the madness.
You used that vat of volatile liquid.
You suppose that makes sense. You found the remnants of the Rod of Mending in there too. But wouldn't that mean that the object is fully dissolved?
Exactly. There would be no physical evidence for you to find. It's not necessarily true. You threw the Rod of Mending into the vat, and that didn't fully dissolve. What? The workers neutralized the liquid immediately after Justin fell into the vat. What? Neutralizing that liquid would have rendered it unsalvageable and useless. Doing that would have cost Dracogen a small fortune. Unlike you, Von Sanctus, my client values the lives of his workers over his profits. And because of that, the Inquisition was able to find pieces of bone matter and metal within the vat.
Wait, the rod didn't fully dissolve. That means it was thrown into the vat around the same time that Justin fell into it.
You wouldn't have thrown the rod into the vat until after you were done with your sabotage. And if you wanted to destroy the rod, you would have destroyed all of the evidence that you needed to get rid of.
What piece of evidence would Von Sanctus also dispose of? Is there anything else that Von Sanctus would have needed to get rid of?
You would have also destroyed the arcane construct itself.
That's ridiculous. Lady Steelwind, why aren't you?
I told you before, didn't I? I will defend you to the best of my ability, but I will not fabricate an alibi for you.
You must have ordered the construct to throw itself into the vat to hide any traces of your sabotage.
A machine resembling a human threw itself into the vat. That means that anyone looking at the walkway would have seen this.
That's it. The arcane construct was the second person that Astor and Morrison saw fall into the vat. That's why we didn't find organic matter from anyone other than Justin in there. The second body that Astor and Morrison saw was actually an arcane construct. How are you? Wait, Rika was sure that she saw Justin fall off the walkway. After she notified Astor and Morrison, they saw the construct break the guardrail and fall into the vat. Wouldn't that mean that the construct disposed of itself after Justin Wade fell off the walkway? Why would you order it to do that?
Because it never happened. Your logic is flawed.
He's getting stressed out. Maybe you should try using the empowered eye.
No, you don't need it this time. You're so close to figuring this out, you can feel it. So think, if he was observing the construct using magic, he must have seen Justin fall. And for some reason, he reacted by sabotaging the guardrail. Why did Von Sanctus sabotage the guardrail? Why would he ignore seeing that happen? Unless he did all this because he saw Justin fall. Von Sanctus wanted to send a message to...
Yeah. It's because you wanted it to look like an accident. Which means that it wasn't actually an accident.
Oh, now you're accusing me of intentionally murdering the victim. Why would I ever do that? You said it yourself. My goal was sabotage. Committing murder would have brought unnecessary attention to what I'd done.
But those constructs do have a habit of shoving people that are in their way. What if the construct pushed Justin out of the way, causing him to fall over the edge of the guardrail?
He's figuring out everything that happened just from a few clues.
Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just to walk past him.
Acknowledged.
What?
Up! Hey, watch it! Quit shoving me! Wait, whoa!
Holy crap, pull me up! I can't hold on for much longer. Ah, you idiot, what are you doing? What?
Grab his arm and pull him up.
Acknowledged. Hey, I'm walking you.
Ah, my hand! What the hell are you doing? Your grip is too tight, stop that.
Acknowledged.
Ah! Wait, I can still... It may have been unintentional, but either way, you would have been at fault for Justin's death, not my client. And if the construct fell in after Justin, your tuned object must be somewhere in that neutralized liquid. No, it's even better than that. Constructs are made from a specific magical alloy, aren't they? I'm sure with a few divination spells, we can identify metal shards from the construct and your arcane focus. Each and every one of those pieces of evidence points directly at you, Von Sanctus.
You petulant little upstart.
And that's checkmate, Von Sanctus. Why don't you save us all a little time, Von Sanctus? Admit to what you did. And while you're at it, drop your false allegations against my client.
I have nothing to admit to, nor do I have anything to apologize for.
Of course not. You're completely blameless, right?
Do you think you've achieved victory here today? No. Dissidents like you and Dracogen are absolutely deluded. Each and every breath you take only throws Wyvern Guard further into chaos.
You talk about these commoners as if they have even a fraction of the power that you have.
Lady Steelwind, you need to see reason. They lack awareness of the power they truly have.
What?
These people have infected you and His Majesty with these idealistic delusions. I implore both of you to see reality for what it is.
No, Von Sanctus, the true reality is that people like you become threatened when we challenge your power.
You all speak about the rights of the individual. You speak as if each and every one of you wouldn't stab each other in the back at the moment it benefited yourselves. You may hate the nobility, you may curse, scream, and blame us all for all your little problems, but the truth is that you need us. You need us to direct and lead you. You need us to maintain the fragile order that holds your peaceful little lives together.
You talk about protecting the common folk from themselves, but the truth is that your actions led to the death of an innocent man. That is the only truth that matters. The defense has no further questions for the witness. He's dismissed.
Very well.
Oh, okay. Cool. No, I totally understand what you're talking about, Hot Wired Gaming. It makes it like also more obvious, and so like figuring it out really early just kind of makes you want to be like, no, just like get to the point. Like I know what we're doing. I know what's going on here. Yeah, it does make it feel like it should be a bigger something or other, but I'm not sure if it will be. I guess we'll find out.
We did it again, Tyrion! And we even caught another murderer in the process. Another one that used an arcane construct. Interesting. Maybe we should get rid of those.
Yeah, we couldn't get the case officially dismissed today, but it's pretty much inevitable from the evidence we brought in.
Actually, it probably won't even reach that point. I've advised Lord Sanctus to drop the suit entirely. Word has already spread regarding the evidence that you brought forward. At this point, prolonging the trial would just harm his public image even more. That's great! Now we can build a case against him for Justin's death. About that, I'll probably be forced to recuse myself from any charges brought against him. What? Why?
It's because you represented him in the suit, isn't it? It will be considered a conflict of interest to prosecute him yourself.
Love the acknowledgement of conflict of interest.
Even though you're probably the only prosecutor that would convict him successfully.
You're correct. As the head of one of the Pillar families, he has the justice system dancing in the palm of his hand. He will definitely be quietly and swiftly acquitted. I would never have agreed to represent him had I known about this. I'm truly sorry.
Damn it, he must have had this planned all along.
No. Is he seriously going to get away with this? I can just, kill him tonight. If you guys would let me, I could just sneak into his room and kill him. We could just do that. If everyone promises to be, really chill about it, I can just make this problem disappear. So, consider. Everyone consider.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Dracogen, he may be acquitted in the legal sense, but the court of public opinion is a different thing entirely.
What do you mean?
You brought forward a myriad of evidence against him, and I'm sure everyone in the gallery saw it too. Von Sanctus's power relies on his public image, and you quite handily tore down that facade. He may walk free, but his power and ideals have taken a great blow. But is that seriously all we can do? His actions and recklessness resulted in the death of Justin Way. He should be punished with the letter of the law.
You're not wrong, Mr. Cuthbert, but sometimes we must take the victories that we can get.
She's probably right.
But there's still one thing that's nagging at me. Oh, what's that? Why was your safe unlocked if nothing was stolen? If Justin had gotten into your safe, he would have taken your gold with him. It wouldn't still be there. Considering that nothing is missing, I'd rather leave it at that.
No. This is gonna come up again, isn't it?
Really? Justin was a good man. I'd rather not taint anyone's memory of him, especially Musarika's.
Right. She was pretty upset about your accusations.
Nothing was taken, so no harm was done in that regard. Yet! I suppose so.
I don't trust like that.
But I can't help but wonder what actually happened.
Oh. The Origin of Horus. Complete Case 3, The Origins of Horus. Episode end. Yeah. Oh! Sir, your shirt.
Just makes no damn sense to me. The kid successfully robbed the guy days ago. No one saw him, no one even suspected him. But then he breaks into the place again? Also, he could put back the stolen gold?
Oh, well, that's what happened. Does
this make any sense to you, Eris?
Oh, hey, girl. What you doing, girl? Father. Okay.
Perhaps he felt remorse for his actions, Father. Not everyone can betray the people they love so easily. And if that's true, I feel like there's a sense of tragic beauty to it all. If he ever tried to do the right thing, he would have never encountered the construct. Wait, if he had never tried to do the right thing, he would have never encountered the construct in the first place. He would have paid his debt and he would still have his life.
It's true what they say. No good deed goes unpunished. It's a shame about the gold, though.
I think we've more than made a profit today.
Okay, girly.
I, for one, am happy to have claimed a boatload of tithes today.
Did you guys steal the boat? Were they the ones who stole the boat? Did they steal the boat? Did they steal a boat? Were they trying to steal Aster too, or did they just want his boat? Just curious. let's start the stuff for the next game, and I'll probably stop at about 11:15. Whoop. Accidentally opened something. So true about Eris. Severed ties. So I'm pretty sure this is the girl from the second case, but I couldn't tell you for sure. It might be like a relative. Up until now, we've been wait, what? Up until now, we've been following the story of Tyrion Cuthbert. We've experienced the world through his eyes and fought for justice through his soul. But this time, why don't we start from the perspective of another? Episode 4, Severed Ties. I can't believe Cuthbert read the client's mind without asking. Uh-oh. If we're starting from Mom's point of view, I'm worried. I'm just constantly worried about this woman being killed. I don't know if this bodes well. I'm a little nervous. It's starting to become a problem. He's becoming more and more reckless each passing year. I wish Frey was still alive. She would know what to do. She made it look so effortless. And he loved her. Would he have listened to her if she was still here? Oh, this is not... Okay. Is something the matter, Tamora? No, I was just thinking about something. Well, the trial is about to begin. I don't doubt your abilities, but I'd still appreciate if you remained focused. All our futures are at stake, after all. Of course, Miss Frege. Freelancer? Freelancer for what? That is the vaguest occupation ever. Freelance. Freelance murderer? Like what? Freelance what? Freelance in graphic design? She could be freelance in anything. Freelance dog walker? I don't know. Beatrice takes in a deep breath before she claps her hands together. What's wrong? She's 23, by the way. Nothing. It's just the ritual that I use to calm myself. Right. I'd almost forgotten about that. But more importantly, what are you doing here? Girl, what are you doing here? Hello? Don't you have school?
My father sent me to guide Beatrice through the courthouse. It's a new environment for her, and we're both worried about her condition.
I still can't believe you were the boss's daughter the entire time. The boss? What's going on? What's happening? The boss? Ruby, what are you involved in? Ruby, what are we doing? Oh, we're fucked. This woman's gonna end up so fucking dead, isn't she? Oh no. Mom, come pick us up. We're scared. Why didn't you say anything at the academy?
Oh, knowing my true identity would have caused friction with your son, wouldn't it?
He's not my... Anyway, I suppose I understand why you stayed quiet. But I still don't appreciate being kept in the dark about this.
Oh, speak of the devil.
You spot Cuthbert and McCoy walking into the courtroom with other members of the gallery. McCoy spots you and gives a friendly yet awkward smile. However, Cuthbert ignores you entirely and walks silently into the courtroom.
Parental troubles?
We had an argument earlier. It's nothing to worry about.
If you say so.
You are wary about what he saw in Beatrice's mind, though. Oh, are we like in media res? Are we in media res right now? Ooh. He's always been a good kid, but his idealistic sense of justice clouds his judgment sometimes. You just hope that he's not planning to do anything reckless. Do not count on it, girl.
The trial is about to begin. Do you really have time to be making small talk here?
Prosecutor Steelwind approaches the three of you, but she appears to be accompanied by someone else. Nightgrave, is that you? What are you doing here?
Well... He's accompanying me as my aide for this case.
So true. We don't have time for that, Sprite. We don't have it in the budget. It's not in the budget. I see. So I assume you'll be prosecuting?
Of course. I would never pass up an opportunity to face the infamous Ruby Tamora.
Really? If I recall correctly, you haven't even beaten Tyrion once so far.
Oh, Miss Steelwind, don't strain yourself.
What's that look for, Beatrice? You almost look surprised to see me here.
Considering the circumstances, I thought you might recuse yourself.
I am more than capable of being objective, especially for a case of this much importance.
Well, I hope your mind is as strong as you think it is.
Miss Steelwind, please calm down.
Oh, how I love a good reunion.
What is going on? Court is now in session for the trial of Beatrice Frege. Miss Steelwind, is the prosecution ready? Miss Steelwind?
Of course. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Something seems off about her today. Is her personal attachment to this case distracting her? I am going to say, right now, having no idea what's going on, that we do know that there is illusion magic that can make you look like another person. And we know that Celeste can do an Arya impression. So, I'm just saying, exactly, Hannah, I'm just saying, we know this to be true. Now, I don't know if that's what's going on, but we do know this to be true. We are the same person sometimes, Hannah.
Very well, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, could you please list the charges?
Your Honor, the defendant is charged with first-degree murder and grand theft. As many of you know, Beatrice Frege is the formerly missing daughter of the now-late William Frege, and the victim of the murder is William Frege himself.
Yes, I'm well aware of that. The people of Wyverngard will certainly mourn the loss of House Frege's head.
Please, the only people mourning him are the banking house's shareholders.
But anyway, do you also say that the defendant is accused of grand theft?
Yes, Your Honor. The crime took place during the Lord's Ball, an event that was hosted in the Frege Manor yesterday evening. The Haraldson Hall of History has a gallery display within the manor. They were showcasing several magical artifacts donated to the Wyverngard Historical Society. One of these items was the Sword of Spell Eating, a magical artifact that allows its wielder to nullify magical effects.
Great.
We, the prosecution, believe that the defendant stole this item. She then used it to nullify the magical lock in the victim's study. After breaking into the study, she attacked the victim and slashed his throat open using a letter opener.
Why wouldn't she just use the sword? Does it not also work as a sword? Sure.
He died of blood loss shortly after.
Oh, hi! Scratch marks on the face and back? And there was illusion magic? Okay, so the scratches must have been before, because... Yeah, sure.
I see. What's possible motive would the defendant have to murder her own father?
William Frege and his daughter were not close. Saying that they had a strained relationship would be an understatement. In fact, 5 years prior to the murder, Beatrice abandoned and fled her home. She went into hiding and did not contact any of her friends or family. Her whereabouts were unknown, until she suddenly contacted her father a week ago.
My client left the Frege household because of her toxic relationship with her father. She wanted to create a life for herself that was free from his influence and abuse.
I won't disagree with your claims, but that just highlights how desperate the defendant must have been. She had clearly fallen on hard times and begrudgingly contacted her father for financial aid. I can't possibly understand why they would schedule this meeting during the Lord's Ball, but nevertheless, several witnesses did see her that night. And these same witnesses saw her storming out of her father's study in anger. Her father must have refused her request for gold, so she decided to murder him to claim his inheritance.
Luckily, we prepared for this in advance. Yes, they're playing right into our hands. I don't know why she's British when I did make her sister British, but like, maybe if her sister shows up again, I'll just make her sister British this time. What you're saying is all conjecture, Steelwind. You don't have any evidence or testimony that confirms what they spoke about.
Yes, I'm well aware of you and your client. That you and your client have refused to tell us what was discussed during that meeting. But as long as you both stay silent, my claims are plausible.
Be honest, Steelwind. Do you seriously think that my client committed these crimes in spite of her condition?
Condition? What do you mean by that, Ms. Tamora?
Why don't you tell him, Ms. Steelwind? Tell the court about my client's disability.
Your Honor, Beatrice Frege is considered legally disabled. However...
Legally disabled? That's a convenient way of putting it, Steelwind. My client isn't just legally disabled. She's completely blind.
Well, completely blind. Is that true?
We have several medical documents and testimony from several chirurgeons attesting to that fact. My client is unable to see anything.
What's the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Do you expect me to believe that a blind woman performed any of the acts you're accusing her of?
Blind woman can murder too. Now that's equality, folks. Blind woman can murder too. I'm glad you also see how ridiculous these claims are, Your Honor.
If the court would just let me elaborate.
Steelwind, the prosecution's first charge is grand theft. My client would have needed to break into a magically secured display case. Performing such an act would be a difficult task for anyone, much less my client. And the second charge is first-degree murder. My client would have needed to use the sword of spell eating on the lock leading to the victim's study. Then she would have needed to grab a letter opener, overpower the victim, and deliver a precise and fatal blow to the victim's neck. Oh, we're in here now. Oh, we didn't read this before. Beatrice Frege fled from her family 5 years ago and went into hiding. In retaliation, William Frege told Miriam Frege that he would remove Beatrice from his will. As a result, she won't receive any inheritance after his death. As per your agreement, this testimony will be confirmed by Miriam Frege in court. Does any of that sound like a reasonable theory, Your Honor?
I'm compelled to agree with you, Miss Demora. It all sounds quite ludicrous, to be honest.
This is just awful. The Steelwinds are clearly just attacking the Fregas now that their head is deceased.
Objection!
Enough. Your Honor, the court has not seen the evidence that supports this case, nor have you listened to the Inquisition's testimony regarding their evidence.
Did that even say evidence?
Until you have done so, you are in no position to pass judgment.
Very well, Miss Steelwind, I suppose you have a point.
Guess the young lady has some claws after all. But it doesn't matter. Their case against Beatrice is questionable at best. Frankly, it's surprising that Steelwind even went through with this. It's only a matter of time before the judge sees things your way.
To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand.
Why are we starting with this? I'm not entirely sure what's happening.
Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings.
Right. We didn't want to cause a panic after the sword was stolen, so we activated the manor's silent security system. It put an anti-magic field over the entire manor. We did a search of the house, and we found the stolen sword in the defendant's bedroom. It didn't look like she was going to run, and Crown Prince Astor told us to stand down, so we just kept a close eye on her. William Frege was in a bad mood that night, so he had already locked himself inside his study. But an hour later, we entered the study and found him lying dead in a pool of blood. The lock was still engaged, and no one teleported in. The perp must have temporarily disabled the lock using the sword of spell eating. We have testimony that say the defendant was seriously in debt. She must have murdered the victim to get part of his inheritance.
Their case against Beatrice is just as you predicted. And you already have a countermeasure to disprove the existence of any motive. All I have to do is present that to the court. Okay, so something is absolutely going on. This is like way too easy. What's happening here?
Objection!
What's happening? Your Honor, the prosecution's case against my client is riddled with holes, and the prosecution's proposed motive is the largest among them.
What do you mean, Ms. Tamara? Of all the elements in the case, the motive is the most believable. Your client would have had much to gain through her father's inheritance.
That may be, but that's assuming my client had anything to inherit at all.
What?
Your Honor, my client fled from her psychologically abusive father 5 years ago. How do you think he would have reacted to that? Lord Frege was a petty and vindicative man. Do you honestly think that he'd leave his inheritance to someone who dissipated him so egregiously? No, he'd do everything in his power to make sure she didn't see a shred of his wealth.
Yes, we're already well aware of this.
The moment she slams her cane down, you notice the prosecutor wince a little, but she quickly hides it and regains her composure. So we know that when Celeste was in an illusion, was putting up that illusion of Arya, that when she slammed the cane down, it doesn't do anything. So either she's making the sound somehow else, or something else is happening. It's making her wince. Frankly, if she was going to do this illusion, I would have just gotten a cane and put an illusion on the cane so it could make the sound itself, but I don't know what's going on, so I'm putting it out there.
On the night of the murder, the victim made the decision to disinherit the defendant. However, his murder deprived him of the opportunity to submit his will to his attorney. This only further proves the defendant's motive. She would have needed to act quickly, lest her father submit the changed will.
Why did he wait 5 years? I'm afraid you're mistaken, Miss Steelwind. William Frege didn't disinherit my client that night. Like, why would he wait 5 years to disinherit her? He disinherited my client 5 years ago. There we go. I have witness testimony from Miriam Frege, William's youngest daughter. By her own admission, her father disinherited my client shortly after she fled the household.
What? She never brought that up during questioning.
Perhaps she's not as amicable to you as you thought. If you don't believe me, why don't we call her to the stand and ask her ourselves?
What are you planning, Ms. Tamora?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, it's clear we won't get anywhere until we hear from Miriam directly. Bailiff, please escort Miriam Frege to the stand. And she's going to have a different voice this time, and it's
going to actually have to have a British accent. I'm sorry.
Miriam, is the defense correct? Did your father disinherit Beatrice 5 years ago?
Yes.
And you didn't think it was necessary to share this information with me? Oh, well, you never asked. If I recall correctly, you were tight-lipped during questioning this morning. Are you staying quiet for your sister's sake?
The witness just lost her father. You can hardly expect her to recall every detail that's relevant to the case.
Which raises a more concerning question. How did you extract this information?
Who knows? Maybe I just have a way with people.
Regardless, I suppose you have a point. I'll give the witness the benefit of the doubt, for now. In any case, Miriam, please testify to the court about how you found out about Beatrice's disinheritance. Yes, of course.
Let's see how this goes.
One day, we all woke up and discovered Beatrice had fled from our home. She left a note for us, and in it she renounced her name and denounced my father. My father later called me and my sister into his study. He told us he'd completely disowned Beatrice and removed any claim she had to the Frege estate. It was probably a threat to us in case we ever chose to go down the same path she did. He wanted to make an example out of her. This all happened 5 years ago. And are you sure this all happened 5 years ago? Yes, even now I can remember everything clearly. I see.
Her speech is getting slower. Is she deep in thought? Is she okay? Does she need a nap? Does she need, like, a 5-hour energy? Nightgrave seems extremely concerned for some reason. He's also here. Don't worry about him. Oh, God.
And Leify was there with you at this meeting?
I don't know if that's who you... Is this a name that's a name in our world? We're gonna go with now.
Yes, she was. However, Leify couldn't have possibly been there.
Her words are getting more slurred? You also notice that her balance is slightly swaying. What's happening? Hey, are you okay? It also only lasts for an hour. What the fuck is happening?
Of course,
Up, girl, down. What?
By the scaled lord, is that blood?
Blood? Blood?
The bailiff, find anyone capable of casting heal magic. Escort them to the courtroom.
Out of the courtroom immediately? Girl down, maybe we were wrong. Maybe this isn't Celeste? After some scrambling, a couple of healers are able to help Nightgrave stabilize the prosecutor. Then if Nightgrave is actually using magic, then it's not Tyrion. In all the chaos, you caught a... What?
You caught a glimpse of her. There were deep wounds and blood on several parts of her body. She must have used some kind of illusion to hide them, but her disguise is completely dissipated now. Before Steelwind is taken out of the courtroom, you catch her whispering something into Knight Gary's ear. You see a look of confusion from him, but he nods and makes his way to the witness stand. But not before passing a message on to the bailiff, who seems equally confused. Just what the hell is going on?
Mr. Nightgrave, explain yourself. What's going on? Why was Ms. Steelwind so gravely injured?
I'm sorry, but I wasn't actually here as Ms. Steelwind's aide. I was here as her healer.
Her healer?
The truth is, Ms. Steelwind was violently attacked at noon today.
We were totally wrong, Hannah.
She was in critical condition, but she insisted on prosecuting the case anyways. I owed her a favor, and she asked me to channel my necromancy to keep her wounds closed during the trial.
Scaled Lord, why didn't she just recuse herself?
She must have known. If anyone else tried to prosecute Beatrice, you would have handily won the trial. Nevertheless, she showed up to prosecute because no one else would, and she did it all despite the risk to her life. It almost makes you respect her a little. Almost. Anyways, is there any need to prolong this trial, Your Honor?
What?
Even you must acknowledge how weak the case against my client is. In addition to that, Miriam's testimony shows that my client had nothing to gain from her father's death.
Ms. Demora, Miss Steelwind has been gravely injured, and you're still only concerned about...
The only thing I'm concerned about is seeking justice for my client.
Even so, we cannot move forward until we find another prosecutor.
And how long do you think that will take, Your Honor? It's almost been 12 hours since the murder took place. That gives us what, 36 hours? After that, every magical trace at the crime scene will fully disappear.
But there might be someone...
That was the wrong voice. If Steelwind had simply allowed another prosecutor to work this case, we wouldn't be in this situation. She took a risk, and now she has to pay the price. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
You're not exactly proud of winning this way, but this is what it takes to win, and you won't take an opportunity like this you won't let an opportunity like this pass you by. The judge is clearly unhappy with this turn of events, but it's out of his hands now. God damn it.
Well, due to today's unprecedented events, I suppose I have no choice. There aren't any prosecutors available to immediately take Ms. Steelwind's place. We will take a brief recess. After that, I will deliver my verdict.
Objection!
Oh my god. Tyrion! Help! He said, fuck you, Mom! I actually was like, is Tyrion gonna jump in here? Because that will be very funny. Because it's gonna bring us right back to where Hannah and I thought we were earlier. Except we were completely wrong the first time.
Your Honor, I'm afraid you can't pass a verdict just yet.
Mr. Cuthbert?
Cuthbert? What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. But what I do know is there was a massive contradiction in Miriam Fraga's testimony.
But it looks like things aren't going to be as simple as you expected. I would like to save my progress, but I have to go to bed. Oh, this is devastating. Ballroom? Alright. Well, shit. Things are going on. Things are happening. I have to pack some stuff tonight. I have to finish up a few things, which is why we're ending a little bit earlier so I can get my packing done. So, oh my god. Oh. Literally, I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. It was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I am here. Okay, so Thursday we're going to be doing more Virtue's Last Reward. I think we only have 2 or 3 streams left. It really depends on how long this shit takes us and how distracted I am. There is no stream on Friday. I am going to be prepping to going to New York. Monday, we'll be back here. We'll be finding out what's happening, maybe. Maybe. Also, maybe not. But yes, so thank you all for coming. Have a good week. I was going to say I might do a stream, but I decided against it. I was thinking about doing a work stream, but I have to work on my statement of purpose for grad school, and I just think that would be better to do maybe in a call with a friend opposed to a Twitch stream. But at some point I am going to do work streams again because I have not written in over a month and I'm feeling bad about it. And I do have zine pieces to do. So thank you all for coming. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good week. Remember to hydrate and I will see you all later. Goodbye.